Good morning, and thank you for tuning into the Tatecast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today. We are going to be covering the two NFL championship games that happened yesterday. And then after that, we're going to be diving into Michigan, picking a new head coach. And then, as always, at the end of the show, we're going to dive into our oddities of the day. But before we start, I would like to ask you to like and follow the show. We get a number of questions from the viewers that come in during the shows, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork.slaptip. This puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. So let's get started.
Okay. Hello, Miss Faith. How are you doing?
Hello. Happy Monday.
Okay.
It's very much a Monday for me.
It is. It feels like a Monday today.
Yeah.
I intentionally avoided you this weekend, by the way. I
Did
did
you?
not. Yes, I did not text. I did not call. I didn't even send a smoke signal your way.
I considered texting you yesterday, and then I was like, let's just wait and see how all of this goes, and then we'll...
Okay. I was suspecting that you were going to text me, and so I intentionally turned my phone off so I did not hear your text. It's a true story. I'm like, nope, because she's going to tell me something and about what she felt about the games, and I don't want to know. So I intentionally turned the sound down because
Tate was avoiding me this weekend. I'm just finding out that Tate he's like, don't call, don't text.
No smoke signal, nothing. I'm ghosting you.
I bet a lot of people would be okay with their boss ghosting them throughout the weekend.
Yes.
That's
It's
hilarious.
not I was like, nope, I know a message is gonna come across here. I don't want to hear. I don't want any. Do not lead the witness today. All right.
Okay.
So, other than the games, we're gonna hit the games. Your weekend? Did you have a good weekend?
Yes, but yesterday was a very long day.
Yeah,
very long day for me. But I had a pretty good weekend. I did get my nap in that I scheduled on Friday. I did. It was a nice 2-hour nap, and I very much enjoyed it.
I am so jealous. I wish I could. I can't sleep at all. I think, let's see, last night was a good night. So I probably got, let's say I was up by about 3:40, 3:50 this morning. So I probably got in about 4 hours, four and a half hours. And that's a good day for me. That is spectacular.
See, that's the same amount of sleep that I got last night, and thank God for makeup and caffeine.
I have caffeine, but no makeup.
So you don't need it.
Oh, you say the sweetest things. All right, let's dive into them. And what's the first game we're going to talk about?
For me, we're going to start on a high note and talk about the AFC Championship that happened yesterday.
All right.
The Chiefs versus the Ravens. The final score was 17-10. So the Kansas City Chiefs will be heading back to the Super Bowl again. And, shocker, Taylor Swift will be there.
Okay, wait, before we dive, why is everyone hating on Taylor Swift?
Okay, I don't hate on Taylor Swift. It's just, when you're sitting down and you're watching a football game, I do agree that it gets a little bit annoying seeing a bunch of shots at Taylor Swift. But I understand that a bunch of women are very, very excited to tune into the Kansas City Chiefs game so that they can get a glimpse of Taylor Swift.
I like it. It's for me. I look at it as it's bringing a whole new group of people that
No, I very
maybe
much
would
agree.
never
Yeah.
watch the game
Hmm.
are now watching the game, and I think that benefits the organization. I
Yeah.
mean, the NFL, it
Hmm.
benefits Taylor Swift, and also I think it brings a whole different group of men to Taylor Swift. So I'm pro.
You
Even
know,
and
yeah.
I've never bought a Taylor Swift uh album.
Hmm.
Uh, I've never been to a Taylor Swift concert, although I've heard it's been quite amazing. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's dive into the important stuff. Hit me more.
What a game. What a game yesterday. I mean, I could tell by like third quarter, defense on both ends was exhausted, so tired. Because it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth the entire game. And honestly, I'm shocked at how low the score ended up being for this game. I thought it was going to be a lot higher than 17-10. I
You know
really
what?
did.
I'm listening to you. I'm listening to energy. I want to take my earbuds off and just walk away and let's let you do this segment because I'm like,
Uh-uh.
wow,
No, no,
look
no,
at
no,
you.
no. No, we're
I'm
not
like,
there yet.
I'm like, look at my girl Faith go.
We're not quite there yet, but that was, I mean, goodness gracious. Defense was absolutely killing it yesterday. Killing
Do
it
you
on both
understand?
sides.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's this whole cliche, defense wins championships.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch this game, you do understand that
Yeah.
defense wins championships. You have two of the best offenses in the
Mm-hmm.
NFL, and you are talking about the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the key right there.
Right.
Now, is there anything else before I dive into it? Anything else that you wanted to say on this one, or you wanted me to jump in here on this
I
one?
just wanted to say I was right with this pick. I got
Yes,
one
you
right.
were. Yes, you were. We're going to talk about that other one as well.
I,
But yes, hold that one. Keep that energy. You put it in a box and just hold it real tight for a second. The game, first off, what you said about you had two teams with two top flight defenses. And I mean, that's you can praise both sides, I mean, both teams on how well they played defensively. In a way, I was disappointed in this game a little bit. And the game, phenomenal. Absolutely loved the game, but I was disappointed in this. I felt both games were lost by their coaches. In this game, Harbaugh, who Jim Harbaugh, I mean, other Harbaugh, great coach. I thought the game plan that the Ravens went in with was just flawed from the beginning. I felt like they came in and they've been one of the best running teams in the NFL, and they said, "The heck with that, we're passing today." And it was just such a pass happy, pass centric offense the entire game, and it was getting nowhere.
mm-hmm.
And yes, when you run the ball, maybe they weren't getting much out of it, but it should have been more running so that it wasn't so one dimensional. I felt like from the start of the game to the end, the Ravens were so one dimensional that it made it easier for the Chiefs defense, which was stellar, to really home in and really control what Lamar Jackson could do
Mm-hmm.
because Lamar was held in check.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I know he threw that interception later in the game, and that's something, there's a lot of people that's going to bash him for that interception. I felt like It was an interception that it was a desperation trying to make something happen because nothing was happening on their offense. And I thought they did a really good job of keeping Lamar in check, keeping him in the pocket. He was scrambling in the pocket a lot. This was, in my opinion, the worst game of the year that I have seen that the Ravens put on the field. And I say on the opposite side of this was a masterpiece on the Kansas City Chiefs. Even though this wasn't a high scoring game, and you look around and you're saying it's a masterpiece by the Kansas City Chiefs, they only scored 17 points. When you look at it, it was, I mean, Patrick Mahomes to Jason Kelce, it happened over and over and over again. When everyone was kind of saying that Kelce had kind of fallen off, Kelce came out and he showed out. 11 catches for 116 yards, 1 touchdown. He was like the factor in this game. And here's a great example where the Ravens, no, they did not run the ball incredibly well, but they stuck with it. They kept trying to run the ball, 81 yards rushing, but the play action actually opened up Kelce. I thought Patrick Mahomes just put together a masterpiece. But only 255 yards passing. I thought it was a situation where I thought the Ravens could have been the better team, but Andy Reid put together the perfect game plan to control Lamar Jackson. Put a game plan so they didn't make mistakes. Mahomes couldn't miss. He was 30 for 39. So he only missed 9 passes throughout the game, 241 yards and a touchdown where he hooked up with Kelce. And with the way that defense is playing, that's all you needed. Man, great game. A run touchdown. Kelce got a touchdown, and everything else was like complete shutdown. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Where I felt like the Ravens were so one-dimensional that it made it a lot easier. When you think about that game, sometimes even if the running game isn't working, you have to keep going back to it, just to keep the defense guessing. But if Lamar, he's just dropping back, he's trying to scramble, and they're keeping him in that pocket. It just was not working. I did love the pass that he threw that was deflected, and he caught his own pass. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
For the first down, that was I when that happened, I'm like, oh man, this could be the Ravens game here. But in the end, I just felt like Andy Reid was the key to the game. Patrick Mahomes was the second key, where it was just like no mistakes on his part. This was a mistake-free game that they played. I thought great defense, very few mistakes, and leaned on the playmakers, which was Travis Kelce. Kelce came up with big catch after big catch, which kept moving the sticks, controlling the time of possession. I thought it was, masterpiece by Andy Reid, and Kansas City Chiefs. Do you agree, disagree with anything I'm saying here?
I definitely agree. At first, I thought that the Ravens were gonna, pull through in the first half, because I don't know, watching Lamar Jackson was pretty impressive for the
Lamar's
first half.
Unreal.
Yeah, for the first half, that was very, very impressive watching him. But then after halftime, and then we come back, it's just it feels like the Ravens already felt defeated, and then it was just kind of like, after that was just kind of the game. That's what I got from it a little bit.
And you know what though? The reason why you felt that way, or why it felt that way, was, once again, Andy Reid. When they went into halftime, games are won on halftime adjustments. Prime example, the next game we're going to talk about, halftime adjustments. What a difference it makes when you have a quality coach that can go in there and make adjustments and see what's going on and what we needed to change. And the way that defense had been playing, Kansas City's defense was playing, it was just like this. Our defense got us. We just cannot make mistakes. We got to move the chains, get first downs, and not make a mistake. And that's all you needed to do to win. Mm-hmm. And when you look at everything, I'm going to hold up on this because toward the end, I'm going to tie in with the Super Bowl here. Mm-hmm. So I'll leave it here as far as my speculations on how things will go in the future. Okay.
Real quick, we'll take a break in a second.
Listen, Faith, I'm loving hearing you. No.
I want to talk about the penalties that the Ravens racked up in this game.
Like I said, mistake-free football. You cannot make mistakes on a game at that level.
I think it was third. It was definitely during the second half, and I don't know who did it, but like they hadn't even started yet, and somebody from Ravens defense
one you're talking about.
Slammed into one of the Chiefs players, and I was like, "What the heck is going on? Like, what was the point of that?"
Okay, I'm gonna. This is one of the things that you talk about when you talk about playing disciplined football. Mm-hmm. When you start getting in your head and you feel tight, you're ready to act. It was a situation where if you see a flinch, he just going hard.
Okay.
And you cannot make that. Isn't like those mistakes just cannot happen. Mm-hmm. Not in a
championship game.
Right. If you win, you're in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. You cannot make those kind of mistakes, and they made too many of those mistakes. Mm-hmm. You came in with, I felt like, a bad game plan in the first place, my opinion. And then things you're trying to stay in this game, you cannot give Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey more opportunities. To move the chains. You're just helping them. Mm-hmm. At that point, and they don't need any help.
Right.
Also, one other thing, I'm going to say this again. So many teams, so many people talked about how this was this was Patrick Mahomes' worst team so far. Across the board, defense stellar, but offensively, this team this year is the worst team he's had since becoming a starter. The absolute worst team of his career puts him in the Super Bowl.
I think that says a lot.
the worst wide receiving core of his career is a Super Bowl caliber team.
Right. Yeah.
Do you understand? Patrick Mahomes has as many playoff wins as the Cardinals have in 107 years. He has the same amount of playoff wins at 28 as John Elway has and Peyton Manning has. He's only two playoff games from passing Joe Montana as far as playoff wins. He's only 28. Mm-hmm. He has another decade to go. Mm-hmm. And at this rate, the only person he's looking at as far as passing is one day. Will he ever get to the point where he will pass Tom Brady? Because that's who he's in rarefied air now. Mm-hmm. Especially if they win the Super Bowl this year, he only has one person he's competing against for the rest of his career. For the next 10, 12 years, he's only trying to see, can he catch Tom Brady? because all the records are going to go to the wayside at that point. All right, I've said my fill. Anything else, Miss Faith?
I think we covered majority of it. I think
Yes.
we got it all covered. So with that, we will take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the 49ers and the Lions.